Hello everybody, my name is of course Nick Dutch. I've been on this website for a little while now, and sometimes I can be a little bit, gregarious, I can be a little loud, I can swear a bit too much, I can be a bit offensive, that's right. But what I'm planning on doing is something which is going to possibly shock you, possibly going to make you feel a little bit more uncomfortable, possibly increase and reduce my subscriber base by massive quantities at the same time. It's going to be very difficult to see how this one particular experiment, which I'm about to do over a period of time until I get bored of it, is going to work out. But what I'm going to try and do is take some things which you might consider to be negative in one particular respect and try and show it in another light. Because I think that to myself that my particular subscriber base have got a bit more in the way of intelligence and a bit more in the way of depth of thought than the average YouTube user. And this is because I've been able to show a much deeper level of understanding with ideas that some people regard in a very simplistic way. And on top of that, some of you have been able to accept it, some of you have actually gained some intellectual and moral spiritual freedom from some of the things in which I've been saying, which has obviously made me feel very proud that I've done some good here. But I believe, and I believe this quite strongly, that we can actually go beyond that. Now, we are all human beings. Yes, we all think that we're highly evolved creatures, all right, because we look around ourselves, we've got microwave ovens, we've got Windows 7 technology, we've got smartphones and all these things, and hey, tell me a squirrel who's got all these things. Obviously, fuck you, squirrels. They haven't got what we've got, therefore we're more evolved than them. But the question is, how far have we evolved? Because essentially inside all of our brains there's more primitive circuitry, and that more primitive circuitry is full of prejudice and bigotry, and even people build their identity or sense of identity based upon rather primitive ideas. Tribalism, for instance, okay? So, because some people think like, I feel comfortable in this particular title or name or group or whatever because I don't want to look in that direction. I don't want to look over there, whatever over there is, all right? Or I feel comfortable in this bubble or this title or this whatever the heck this is because I hate them over there, okay? This is often the way in which people tend to define themselves and start to bring about a sense of identity or a sense of this is my self, okay? But I really feel that in the 21st century we should be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and to be able to say, yes, what I'm looking at in that mirror there is genuinely a highly evolved creature. But in order for that to happen, surely we've got to look at the way in which we define ourselves and learn to move beyond that into a position of being beyond comfort zones. Alright, because it's comfortable to think I am a this, whatever this happens to be, whether it's a Wiccan or a pagan or an atheist or a deist or a Hindu or a Sikh or a Muslim or a Catholic or a Protestant or a conservative or a liberal, okay? And to try and look beyond that so that we can start to see that there may be some form of good in other things that we traditionally regard as being negative. Now, I'm speaking to you like this as a human being because I am myself just as guilty at times of this same intellectual, emotional, basically bullshit, which is what has created us. So what I'm hoping to do, right, and this is a bit of an experiment over a period of time, all right, until I get bored of it, basically, because I'm human. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find things out there on the internet and out there on YouTube, which traditionally speaking, you may see some kind of negative in. Alright? And then from that, I'm going to try and tease out some little positives so that maybe we can see that there's some good in a wide variety of different things. Now, I can't change the whole world, but maybe I could not even change your own mind, but maybe inform the way in which you look at yourself and the way in which you look at other ideas out there so that you can get a bit more of a sense of wisdom or clarity or understanding or something which is going to help to elevate you up to a level of freer thought or freer identity, which is going to be very useful to you as you carry on progressing in your own journey of personal growth. Okay? And yeah, this is going to be interesting, it's going to be different, it's going to be crazy to a certain extent, and I can just imagine my subscriber base going up and down quite a lot as a result of what I'm about to do. So just bear with me, and hopefully it's going to be a bit of an interesting journey in which we can look closely at who we are, what we really think, and maybe even sort of like challenge ourselves intellectually and look at things which we would normally see in the negative light in a greater position of depth, so that we can maybe start to generate a greater level of personal freedom of understanding through going through the process of breaking stuff down. Alright? So let's look at things from, I don't know, Satanism, fundamentalist Christianity, let's look at extreme conservative ideas, let's even try and look at some of the conspiracy theorists and try and tease out some positives from them. These are just ideas I've had off the top of my head, you know. Obviously I'm talking to you today, I haven't planned anything that I'm saying in this one particular video. There's no rehearsal whatsoever, I just don't do that. I just turn on the lights, turn on the camera, and as far as action's concerned, well, what you see is what you get. Boom, that's Nick Dutch for you. Okay? So, maybe I'm going to blow your mind, maybe I'm going to help you, maybe there's some people out there who are going to actually start to feel much happier about life as a result of me going out there into the dark of the internet and saying, hey, look, I found this. Right, it's really disgusting. Alright, it's really disgusting because of this, that and the other, but let's have a look at this in a greater level, or a greater detail, or greater depth, or let's try and see this from another point of view, or can we look at the same thing in another way? Alright, just to get some clarity of thought out there, because like this is the internet, this is the place where people go to be afraid or to get excited, okay? This is the place where people go to make them believe that whatever it is they've decided that they are is somehow right or appropriate or holy or important or superior, or something which gives people comfort, because everywhere out there on the internet there's fringe movements or fringe websites, okay, and people can identify with these things and sort of steadily go more and more insane, or steadily become more and more towards one particular this or one particular that, alright, without necessarily seeing that they are being led down a path of thinking to the point whereby they're becoming a puppet for somebody else's mind control. Alright, this is something which I think is wrong. And as I'm sure you can tell, if you've been with me long enough, that I've been trying to just try and expand people's minds, expand people's horizons, try and put a bit of doubt where there's hard belief, try and provide some breadth where there was like narrow-mindedness, alright? I don't want people to look at the world in a myopic way. I want people to be happy about seeing things with depth, okay? Because it's only when we get depth and we start to see that there are some positives in some things that we would normally go, oh, I don't want to go there, that I think that we can actually do that thing, okay? Look at ourselves in the mirror and say, that is an evolved person. I'm proud of how I got here. I'm proud of the fact I got here. And I'm proud of the fact that, yes, I'm not a fucking squirrel. Keep it cool.